after me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
Mike Gundy's I'm a Man, I'm 40 rant that never gets old. And September 22nd will forever be the day that everyone remembers, just like Earth, Wind, and Fire. And September 21st, I'm a man, I'm 40. Let's talk about it. I can't quite grasp the fact that that was 16 years ago. 16 years ago. My first football season in Oklahoma City, covering both Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. And that was right after a significant win for Mike Gundy's career. I mean, he was still building that program, recruiting pretty good and a good evaluator of talent. Well, that win alone, I mean, that Texas Tech team, they were on their way with Michael Leach. They were building with some really good talent. Michael Crabtree was on that team, and it was a very hot day in Stillwater. That same day, Michael Crabtree, what would have been a game-winning catch, the ball sailed through his hand and out of the back of the end zone. Huge win for Oklahoma State. They ended up that year, I believe, with 6 wins and went to a bowl game and won the Insight Bowl at Sun Devil Stadium at Arizona State. But September 22nd, 2007, that post-game press conference room, if you were in the same spot of Mike Gundy, you're looking at about 4 rows in front of him and to the right with a camera right here. We thought, wow, this is going to be a pretty significant press conference. We were shocked. Jenny Carlson was writing for the Oklahoman back then. She had written a piece about then OSU quarterback Bobby Reed, who was highly recruited out of Galena Park, North Shore. Well, there was questions brewing about whether or not there was going to be a quarterback change to Zach Robinson. Well, they had played, I believe, Louisiana Lafayette the week before, or maybe 2 weeks prior. I can't exactly remember. Well, there was a very descriptive piece that Jenny wrote about his mom feeding him those fast food boxes, feeding him the chicken from the fast food box, and that the coaching staff was not threatening, but going to make a quarterback change, and that Bobby Reed was threatening to transfer. Well, after that game, there was no talk about that victory over Texas Tech. This is I'm just sending you a couple of pieces of how it all went down. You've seen it. So this is when the portion about Gundy, when he saw Jenny Carlson over there, who was sitting on the front row to his left. She was a young reporter, a talented reporter, still is, on a different platform. Once he sees Jenny, the pitch in Gundy's voice started to pick up, and this is where he really started to vent.
If anybody hasn't read this article, I don't read it. This was brought to me by a mother of children. I think this is worth reading. Let me tell you why I want to talk about this article. 3/4 of this is inaccurate. It's fiction.
The one line that's hilarious that I think a lot of people have noticed it too. This comes to me from a mother of children. It's funny. It's absolutely comical. But what was even more amusing when he held up the sports section of the Oklahoman with that front page story, it was on the day of the game against Texas Tech. The middle section of the newspaper fell out. And there's not many moments to which I'm speechless or I have nothing to say. I'm making fun of myself, self-deprecating. And that bottom section of that sports section fell out. I started laughing to myself, held it in. But he started going off. He was denying all of it. And to this day, I can't confirm any of it. Bobby Reed, great guy. They played that year with Des Bryant as a freshman. They played at Georgia at the beginning of the season. They weren't ready for the big time. They were still doing this. They were building. Because the very next year is when Oklahoma State really took off. Well, toward the latter third of the Mike Gundy, I'm a man, I'm 40 rant, is when he started calling out the Oklahoman and Jenny without naming her name. And this is pretty much that latter portion to which Gundy really unleashed his fury, so to speak.
Because it's garbage, and the editor that let it come out is garbage. Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40. I'm not a kid. Write something about me or our coaches. That's all I got to say. Makes me want to puke.
To have to let you know that the applause you hear, it's not members of the media. It was never members of the media. It was Mike Gundy's family, who is from Midwest City in Oklahoma City. Or they were. That's where he and Cal Gundy grew up. That rant, I'm a man, I'm 40, on September 22nd, 2007, did this to the trajectory of OSU's program. Parents, kids gravitated to Mike Gundy. It's amazing that, and he's won a lot of games, been very relevant. Oklahoma State's been consistent. They've won a few games in that Bedlam series with Oklahoma. This will be the last year for it. To now, Mike Gundy, I don't know enough to say that he's anti-NIL, but there's not a big presence of NIL. And the fan base, they're off to a not so great start, if you will. They're 2-1. They're coming off an embarrassing 30-7 loss to South Alabama at home, and Major Applewhite's the OC of South Alabama, and they're just having some quarterback issues right now. And I'm not a big guy that shares stuff from a message board. This portion right here was a post saying, word is we're going to see a massive exodus of contributors after the Iowa State game, which is Saturday. All right. They're going, the accusations, or this guy on Go Pokes 24/7 is saying the players are going to quit, enter the portal when it opens. We might not have a starting 22 in 2 weeks. And then it ends with, it has everything to do with NIL money and making sure the parents, handlers are taken care of. We don't do that at all, not even a little. They will go where they will be taken care of. Okay, I think maybe there's some smoke to that, but I don't see a mass exodus. Of course, Gundy has already had, Spencer Sanders left and rumored that he wanted to return. I don't know if this is, how can I say this? We're coming to the end of an era. I mean, everything has an expiration date. And oddly enough, I'm going to take Oklahoma State to win at Ames, Iowa. Now, I hope you guys enjoy this college football Saturday. It's going to be one of the better ones of the season. I can promise you that. And before you start watching your games and whatnot and hanging out with your friends and the beverages flowing, stop by all of our social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, X/Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, and follow us and share this post. And thank you for watching Stories Inside the Man Cave. And when in doubt, it's always a good decision when you decide to talk about it.